Mr. Antonis, I want you to tell me again, if you can, some things you've seen in your work that shocked you.
There are some incidents, some cases that have really marked our memory. I'll tell you, let me start with a very powerful one. At a cemetery, we went and saw that someone had exhumed a person and taken human bones to perform black magic rituals. And we went to the cemetery and found that they had dug him up. And half of him was inside the coffin and the other half was missing. That is, from the waist down, his bones, his legs, the coffin were there, but the entire upper part was missing. Unbelievable, just imagine, because we went at night. We got a tip that some Satanists were going to exhume a person.
Was this in Athens?
No, not here. This was in the countryside. It wasn't here in Athens.
All of it, the whole thing.
And we got some information from a girl who had called us to help her with a problem she had with those kinds of guys. So we go to the cemetery and we see that a grave has been opened and half of the person inside is missing.
Do you know why they want these things?
Information. They told us that they go and exhume people to use them for black magic rituals, to be able to bind certain people, to cause harm to others. These are techniques they use. Some of the techniques involve taking many materials from a cemetery, and one of the many materials is also the bones.
So they use human remains? Yes, I've seen some things, some movies, but okay, I don't know exactly. And do they use blood? Do they sacrifice things like that? Don't they sacrifice?
Animals, they do. They use a lot of techniques, some of which we have witnessed. I've seen this, the fact that they took bones from a grave, we saw this with our own eyes. We saw the result. We didn't see them digging it up and doing it, but that's our information. To be at the spot at the specific time, we saw the result. They had taken half the body. You can't do an exhumation and leave half inside. To say that it was an exhumation from the original burial. It was clearly mentioned in the grave. Another incident, a very tragic one, was when we found a buried refugee during one of our investigations. They set up another appointment for us about a case. We went to the meeting point, and as we were leaving the meeting point, just 10 meters away, we ran into it. How did you know that he had been buried? We saw his hand. That's how we realized there was a person inside.
How did you see his hand?
His hand? It stuck out above the...
It was sticking out of the ground.
The ground was sticking out. Yes, he was buried for a while, so he had been buried for days. Why had his skin already peeled off? His hair, his head, imagine. Some hair was sticking out of the grave where they buried him in the middle of nowhere. I'm not talking about a cemetery now. I'm telling you about a huge property where no one ever goes.
And did you see any symbols, strange ones? No.
No, we didn't see any symbols. There was an old abandoned building, maybe a warehouse. They arranged to meet us there, so we went. And you saw that? Yes, we saw it as we were leaving.
Do you think it was related, or did they just go there to kill someone? I don't know.
No, it was obvious they went there to trap us.
They went there to set a trap for you.
Or maybe a warning. I don't know what they were thinking or why they're doing this. We notified the police anyway because it's a legal matter. Now the police got involved, I can't say more.
That's it. But you now, since you have nothing to do with it, you're trying to do good for a group of people. How do you fit into this? Should you be them?
We are also a target for those who want to do harm. You don't get involved. Right now we are in some kind of intermediate situation. They are following orders from someone to cause harm, and we are caught in the middle. To cause harm, and we are caught in the middle. This person who has been caught up in these situations, yes, I'm always talking about the energy aspect, right? Yes.
So, do you see this? I think so. Or was there something else you wanted to say?
I have a case involving a little child whose mother called us the mother of this child in Crete. I'll leave out the exact place. It's not that important. Her child started showing strange symptoms. And what kind of symptoms? At night, the child started making sounds that were understandable, as if the child was speaking. It was understandable, as if the child was talking. But it wasn't Greek, it was another language.
Another language.
They brought him to psychiatrists and psychologists trying to understand whether he had a sleep disorder, as his parents suspected. They didn't find any solution. That's it, they didn't find any solution. The child was very young, he couldn't give any explanation.
If he wasn't older, 17, let's say, no.
He was about 7 or 8 years old, 7 or 8. So we went to record this phenomenon, to see if it was energy related, to give our own opinion as well. And we found that the child at night, during his sleep, would get up from the bed, sit up in bed, and she started having a conversation as if she was seeing another child or another person and talking to them. But was it a language you couldn't identify?
You couldn't figure it out?
It wasn't English, it wasn't French, it was something strange.
Nor, let's say, could you use it, see it, or have it recognized by any machine?
No, the instruments were maxing out. We were measuring levels during the incident, and all our instruments peaked at the highest level. Whereas before, when we talked to the parents and measured his space, the house had no readings at all. It had normal conditions.
So at that moment, yes.
What we do with the instruments we use, the electronic devices we have that measure, they measure the conditions present in the environment of the space. We know that within these conditions there is Wi-Fi, there is electricity, there are natural causes, and when there are readings beyond natural causes, that's when we start saying that something is not right. And in this particular case, we had normal conditions in the house, even during the night when this incident happened. Chief, all the instruments spiked into the red at the top of the scale.
Was it at a specific time, like they say, 3 o'clock? No?
No, it was much earlier. It was 11 o'clock, 11:30.
And did it work? Yes. And he was saying something I don't know.
It was a normal conversation with sounds that we don't understand, we realized. It was like talking to another person.
Were you watching? Did you have a camera set up?
Us and his parents? Yes, that's recorded.
Unbelievable, man.
Us and his parents. His parents tried to wake him and calm him so he could escape his panic. The kid was very distressed, but eventually settled down.
Could the child explain what was happening?
No, he didn't remember anything, nothing at all.
Nothing.
The child was normal. He'd wake up each morning with no memory of anything. Imagine that her parents went to all the doctors, not only in Greece, but also abroad, to find a solution. Why did this phenomenon appear in the last 3 years? Every night the child experienced this phenomenon every night. Sometimes very intensely, sometimes much more mildly, but it was always there.
And now the child is fine.
I don't know now because we held back and couldn't offer solutions. We're not doctors, we just shared our opinion that energetically things didn't seem to be going well.
But you don't know what happened? No.
We can't be certain or predict how things will develop. At this age, parents are protective and we're inexperienced, as is the child. We also can't share names or videos. These are personal records that concern me. We've kept them for our own experience and for many incidents. Now, if I go downstairs and ask, I could ask about countless incidents we've dealt with, people who have been involved in such cases. Or should I tell you here?
You said you've seen bodies?
Yes.
What else is there to see anymore?
We have seen people who, as the religion says, were possessed. Yes, I believe they were possessed. They were something else. They weren't human. Something else had entered them. Even their appearance changes. It transforms into something creepy. You can't look at it like I told you before about the young man we saw who had completely changed. And he made natural movements as if he was among us. If you looked at photos from 3 years ago, how that person was and how he became, they're two different people.
How do you think this could happen? Do you think someone did something to him?
Me? Because the cautious view is clearly that it has something to do with a spiritual aspect. Why didn't medicine find anything? They couldn't find the dysfunction, not in his brain, not in the tests he did, not even the psychologists.
Nor how some would put him in a psychiatric hospital, the most normal thing?
In a psychiatric hospital, you can put anyone in for even a small problem. You just load them up with medication and say, okay, that's treatment, and you turn them into a vegetable. But his parents, because they were smart and financially comfortable, wanted us to find the real solution. They took him everywhere, to psychologists, to psychiatrists, to hospitals, in Greece, abroad. These people were trying to find a solution. A normal child can't reach 28 years old, have everything normal, go on a trip to England to study, and then in 2 years disappear, with his parents searching for him for days and finally finding him destitute in an apartment. Without having any contact with his surroundings, they bring him back, they take him to the best doctors, because they thought it was possession, that something happened, or maybe he was disappointed by a girl, something happened, drugs. Did they imagine he might be using drugs? Nothing, his body was completely clean. If everything his parents are telling us is true, because we don't have the medical test, but a parent can't call you and lie to you. Like, for example, the child has used drugs and they tell you he hasn't used drugs. Why? They called us to help him, so they told us exactly what happened, just as it happened. I had never seen anything like what we found in his room. It's like watching a thriller movie, like watching The Exorcist. That's the issue, that's what it was. We experienced exactly that. At some point he looked at me because we went to do an energy bioresonance session and we tried to connect it there. We tried to do it for him, we went, but he didn't accept it. He got up, he wasn't speaking, he got up and threw everything away. He was acting like an animal playing with an electronic device.
We went...
He didn't accept it. He got up, he wasn't speaking. He got up, threw everything away. Like an animal, he was playing with an electric toy, always the same, a children's toy. A game, that kind of really old-fashioned toy. And when Nikos connected it to his hands and tried to do bioresonance on him, he got very upset, stood up, and threw everything on the floor.
Was he shouting anything?
Nothing, nothing. His eyes were black. They weren't there. It was just the pupils and the ring around them that we have. White, his eyes were completely black, his nails like that, his hair and his beard. When he had let them grow out, they had reached down here, and he was completely naked in the house. It's unbelievable, exactly. We lived through the movie The Exorcist. He looked at me just as I was about to tell you when Nikos joined and my heart froze. That's when I noticed his eyes. There was no white in them. They were black. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I said, was I shocked? Okay, there was nothing else we could do, but at the moment when someone doesn't accept our help, because we wanted to try with the energy cleansing too, to see if we could get some results, but he didn't let us. We never had contact again. Well, we have it on video. We posted it for a while on the channel. They let us, so we left the house, and we never had contact again. We have it on video. We posted it for a while on our channel. Then the parents asked us to take it down because they didn't want the child to be exposed, so we removed it from our channel. We've experienced similar incidents, maybe not on such a large scale, but we've had many incidents abroad as well. We've experienced incidents, such places and locations where you really feel that something isn't quite right. The vibrations are unbelievable. Just being there fills you with terror, your emotions are incredibly tragic, and you feel like you have to get up, run, and leave that place. I've experienced incidents like sitting on a bed and the whole bed shaking as if there's an earthquake. I've been through such incidents.
You're right there, and this is happening.
Yes, I'm on a bed. I'm doing an investigation alone, and I'm sitting on a bed. I have this on video, and right now it's playing on our channel, if you check it out. Paraphysics Drastirioteites, which is our other activity, you'll see this video.
Is this a professional activity or just for fun?
These are some things we do involving spiritual realms, and we look for places that are energetically significant, for the low.
I think there is also a place in Greece on Mount Olympus nearby.
There are many places in Greece. I'm in a specific house, sitting inside at night to observe all these phenomena that the owners were talking about. And as I'm sitting on the bed, lying down because time is passing, the bed starts to vibrate. Even though there's no earthquake in the house, the rest of the place isn't shaking. It's stable. There are many such incidents, and both I and Nikos and the other guys who took part in these investigations we've done from time to time have seen unbelievable things, tragic things, that we've come across from time to time. It's beyond the limits of logic, you know, because if you try to explain these things logically, there's no logic at all. That's it. That's why I say that just as there is matter, the material world that we see and perceive, there is also another world that is spiritual, which is undeniable. No one can deny that, because as I told you before, you came from somewhere, and you're going somewhere, right?